There can be a wide range of feelings that you may get upon entertaining the thought of speaking to a Jehovah's Witness you know. If you've never been part of the religion, it can be shocking to find out how hypocritical their reasoning is and how they use no critical thinking skills at all to arrive at their conclusions. If you're someone who used to be in the religion, it's likely that JWs you know will at some point try to approach you to get you to come back to the truth. This places you in a spot of having to delicately navigate a conversation of why you won't go back, perhaps even detailing the problems that you take issue with. This doesn't happen often, but sometimes JWs will get brave enough to broach the topic because they think they have all the answers and that you've just forgotten what they are. In either case, if you've had any experience with it at all, you know it can be incredibly aggravating to have a conversation with a witness about their beliefs and practices. Part of this frustration comes from the fact that many times they'll evade the questions you ask, refuse to acknowledge the problems that exist in the organization, and then make excuses for their religion that they wouldn't allow another person of a different faith to use. So, to save you some headaches and help you decide if it's worth your effort to even entertain the conversation, here are some questions I would ask a witness before continuing the conversation to see how genuine they are. 1. Would you want to know if your religion wasn't true? Of course, every witness will have to answer yes to this question. Number 2. If it wasn't true, how would you be able to verify it? They'll likely come back with the canned response of, well, we compare our beliefs to the Bible, and that's how we know it's true. That sounds good on the surface, but you'll need to dig a little bit deeper. Or 3, can you or do you research negative claims against the organization? This is where things can start to get a bit more difficult. They'll start to panic slightly because they know that they're not supposed to research, read, or listen to anything negative about the organization. Their response will likely be that, well, you can't believe everything that you hear because, apostates and Satan's world, they lie about things. And you could agree with them that if you examine the evidence that someone brings to you and you find out that they're lying or twisting the truth, then you should absolutely disregard what they're saying. Number 4, do you think there would ever be a good reason to leave? To which they'll probably say something along the lines of, well, if they started teaching something that contradicts the Bible, then I'd probably leave. Number 5, what are some examples of things that you might find out about the organization that would make you reconsider being a witness? Now, I've asked this question before, and each time I was either met with total silence or their response was, I'll have to get back to you on that one. And of course, I never heard from them again. They recognize that there is a real risk that they could say something that you may already have evidence of. So they have to be extremely careful that they don't paint themselves into a corner where they actually have to live up to their answer to that question. Number 6, do you agree with the illustration used by witnesses regarding false beliefs that asks, would you drink a glass of water that had just a single drop of poison? Witnesses use this constantly when referring to the beliefs of other religions. Or you might hear the variation of it, which says, would you eat a piece of candy that you found in the gutter? So even if a religion has some beliefs and doctrines that are correct, they should still be rejected if they contain anything that's wrong or unbiblical. They highlight the fact that if you're a member of a church, then you share in the sins of that church, and you're going to be judged by God based on the teachings, practices, and history of that religion. Number 7, would you agree that anyone from any religion should be open to the possibility that their beliefs might be wrong? After all, when you go door to door, do you not expect the householder to be open to hearing information that may contradict what their church says? What if the church says not to talk to witnesses because they will twist the truth of the Bible and lead them away from the faith? Do you agree that the preacher is correct in warning his flock from speaking to you? These questions can also put them on the spot since they know all too well that they expect everyone else to be open to changing their beliefs and hearing things that may point out falsehoods in their religion. Witnesses even practice what they're supposed to say at a door to reject it when someone tries to hand them literature from their own church. And perhaps one of the worst ones that I remember hearing is, if you come and find me at my door when you're doing your ministry, then I'll accept it from you. It's a total lie, but it's a canned excuse that many of them will use. So that concludes the list of main questions that I generally ask, and if you'd like to see them all together, feel free to pause your screen here and take a snapshot. Now, you don't have to use all these questions, since one or two of them might serve your purposes. Keep in mind that these questions aren't in any particular order, nor are they necessarily designed to wake up a believing witness. Rather, depending on their responses, it'll let you know if it's worth your time to continue the conversation. If during the course of the conversation they begin to show that their answers weren't genuine, you can gently point that out and discontinue the conversation until they reach a point where they are willing to have an open and honest discussion. Hope this helps.